Good morning and welcome to Cramer's Corner with daily technical update. It is Wednesday, the 28th of May, and it will be the last video this week because it's a bank holiday in Denmark tomorrow. It's Ascension Day, and I'm taking some time off with the family. So this will be the last. We'll speak again Monday. This is an educational video only. There's no advice or recommendation whatsoever intended during this. All right, let's start, and we'll start with Tesla that had a good day yesterday, pushed higher, extended the bounce and uptrend here. We have already seen that the RSI has been in a positive sentiment, and there's now room up to 379 area, 380. If it takes out that minor resistance there, well, then we are looking at 426 area up in these regions here, 430, 435. So let's see about that. We can see higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and now a higher high. So a bullish trend for Tesla. So that's it looks fairly strong at the moment. On the overall index last night, we had S&P 500 bouncing after the tariffs on Europe were paused. We were up about 2%, and if it takes out the peak here at 5,969, which I believe it will, because with a positive sentiment, there's no divergence on the RSI, and we bounced off the 100 and the 200 moving average, which is a positive sign for the market. Also 55 moving average starting to turn around here. Well, then I think we will see a push up to previous peaks. I think we will see a break of 6,000 fairly soon. The pre-market a little bit lower, but nothing to mention. Nasdaq 100 resistance here at 21,454. That is likely to be tested during today's session, and that will be key for it to break it. I think it will, because we have positive sentiment, we have no divergence indicating likely higher levels, so we could see a push towards previous peaks. The Dow Jones also bounced, still below the 200 moving average though, and has some resistance levels here, but could push higher to test them at least. Positive sentiment on the RSI, no divergence, meaning that this peak here on the RSI is corresponding nicely with this one, so there's no divergence indicating likely higher levels, and 55 moving average starting to turn around here, giving some support here at 41,382. In Asia session this morning, a little bit lower, but still in this range here, and we are still above support at 22,638. 100 moving average pushing higher, 55 virtually flat. There was some divergence. You can see the RSI values declining, so a little bit stressed at the moment. I think we will see it dancing sideways here for quite some time. If it takes out the peak there at 23,917, well, then expect a push up towards 25,000. But we could see a setback down to the 22,700 area. In Japan, Nikkei got rejected here at a 786 retracement at 38,289, setting back a bit, but as long as it stays above 36,450, we're still in a bullish trend, and I think we could see it pushing higher. There's still positive sentiment on the RSI, no divergence indicating likely high levels. European markets and to Euro Stoxx 50 this morning, it's a little bit late here, so market already open, as you can see, crawling slightly higher, and there is also no divergence here on the RSI as for now. We had a little bit of top reversal, we got the reversal, but it bounced off the 100 moving average that is rising, so it's supporting higher levels also there, and if it takes out the peak here at 5,468, as you can see, I always add a little bit, round up basically, then we'll see new all-time high. I feel confident about that, as long as we stay above 5,228. And DAX index already made a new to all-time high yesterday and another one today, but now you can see there's actually some divergence, imbalance building up here. RSI is lower here than here. indicating a short-term trend exhaustion. Also remember that we are in May, but it's a little bit different this year maybe. They usually say sell May and stay away, but let's see about that. We don't have a top and reversal in place just yet, so that's what I'm looking out for. And as long as it doesn't take out the lows here at 23,274, where the bullish trend remains. On the FX front, and euro dollar got rejected here at the resistance twice. I mean, it spiked above, but it couldn't really continue its move. RSI rejected at 60 threshold, despite actually in positive sentiment, but got rejected. So expect a little bit of a setback, possibly 112.90 area maybe. What we can do when you see things like this, you just add a Fibonacci and then say, okay, what will break down, move back to? Well, it could push down to the 32 at 112.84, possibly down to the 61.8 at 112. That is not unlikely, actually, that we will see that. Next time it takes out, and if it takes out 114.20, always round up a little bit, 114.20, then I think we'll see a push towards previous peaks there. Cable sterling dollar is setting back here also, but in a bullish trend. Slight divergence. You can see if we adjust this one, we can see, well, it's actually declining. So a little bit of trend exhaustion short term, but I think we'll see it coming back. We have the 100 moving average in a day or two. It will break above the 200, which are also rising, and it will support the medium-term bullish trend on sterling dollar. So I think it's just a question of time before it will push higher, but a little bit of correction is expected here to test 134. The euro sterling slightly day by day, just a tad lower, but the 200 moving average giving some support, as you can see here, but we're still in a bearish trend, and we need to get it back above 84.65 to reverse that. Dollar yen, let's just resize there. Dollar yen, that's bounced Tuesday, sorry. Today it touched the 38.2 retracement, 144.60. It should be able to push up to the 61.8 retracement, but then we have the 55 moving average coming down there, kind of putting a little on, but it could be seen to spike up there before resuming downturn. However, if it takes out the lows here, and if it takes out and breaks below 142, then I think we'll see a push down to 140 and a quarter. Euro yen, oops, let's just resize that. There we are. Euro yen, well, still above the rising trend line. Is not that significant, actually. It dipped to the support here and then bounced. It needs to take out the peaks here just above 165 for upside potential, and a break below 161, then a bearish move. So we are boxed in there, really. We have the Aussie yen. Aussie yen, it's a little bit different story. It has bounced a little bit from the 38.2, struggling at this 38.2 here. Could bounce higher to the 61.8 at 94 and a change, because we actually do have a positive sentiment on the RSI. But what is also interesting, all the moving averages are declining, so the indicators are not conclusive. They are a little bit, they're not agreeing much, to be honest, but I think we could see a push up to there. If it takes out the low here at 91.65, then expect a move down to around 90s, but 60. Sterling yen bounced to the 78.6 retracement at 195.45, and then set back. If it takes out the peak from yesterday at 195.63, then I think we will also see a test of this peak here at 196.40, and possibly a move up to 198. Moving averages are more or less all rising. Positive sentiment on the RSI, no divergence, indicating likely higher levels on sterling yen. Moving on to Aussie dollar, well, still following this rising trend line here. It's not that strong testing at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it being broken, because the 200 moving average is dragging it down a little bit, or holding it down a little bit, and we have key support here at 63.40, but here we have the 55 and 100 moving average coming up, and we're also in a positive sentiment. So it's really it's really very inconclusive picture. It can't really make up its mind, to be honest. So but if it takes out the peak up there at 65.40, then I think we will see a push up above 66. The dollar Canada bounced and actually formed a bottom and reversal pattern here. You can have a doji and spike down there, and you have a bearish candle, bullish candle. So I think we'll see a push up to at least 138.90 to 61.8 retracement there. Question is, can it actually also push higher? But it needs to get above 140.30 to establish a bullish trend. But we have the 55 moving average coming down via negative sentiment, so it's really weighing on dollar Canada. The sterling Canada, yes, it is following this rising trend line here. I have higher highs, high lows, higher highs, but it seems to be range bound, so I will wait for a break either to the downside at 185 or 186.95. I would say 187, and that will extend the uptrend. Positive sentiment on the RSI indicating that we will see a push higher. Euro Swiss, well, also range bound here, still between the 93 and the 94 and a quarter. Slightly or the declining trend line here, or declining tops. Maybe it's forming a triangle-like pattern, ascending triangle-like pattern. It needs to break out, but at least it needs to get back above this level here. Possibly even also above the cloud and the 94.50. So there's some strong overhead resistance also in the form of the 100 moving average, the 55 and the 200. So I actually think we'll be boxed in here for quite some time in this range there. The dollar Swiss that bounced a bit yesterday from its support here at just around 82. Could bounce up to test 83.40, maybe a bit higher. And here we can also, if you're working with it and if you're trading it, then you say, okay, maybe we have a little bit of a bounce up to the 61.8 retracement at 83.66, and then it resume a downtrend, possibly up to the 786 retracement. But let's see about it. If it takes out the lows here from yesterday, expect the sell-off down to below 81. The dollar index, more or less the same picture, has bounced here and could bounce up to 100.32. We are in a bearish trend, however, negative sentiment on the RSI. So if it takes out the low here from the 26th of May at 98.59, then expect the lows here to be challenged. Gold can't make up its mind at the moment. It's just selling back after being rejected at the 786 retracement here at 3,367. It needs to take out that to push higher towards 3,500. I think it could slide back a little bit more. And also here, when you see this, well, you can say, okay, let's add a Fibonacci to see if it will hit some potential supports. We can see it maybe will hit the 38.2 at 3,272, maybe even down to the 61.8 at 3,214. But then we have here the 55 moving average coming up, giving some support. We're still positive sentiment on the RSI, and if RSI can close back above 60 threshold, and that will also play out, I'm confident, if it closes above the peak here at 3,600 and 3,367. So still in a bullish trend, but it is pausing a little bit. We have silver still boxed in here between 33,700 and 31,65. And we have just quickly looking at platinum, expect a push higher, and bullish trend, no divergence for the moment. There is room up to 11.30. And copper is a little frustrating. Well, we can't really make up its mind. Started to push higher here, actually above the cloud, above the 55 moving average. But RSI still in a negative sentiment, was rejected at 60 threshold. So I will wait for a break to above and a close above 489, these peaks here. I think we will push higher, but I need confirmation. Moving on to energy and crude oil. Well, it's still the same here in WTI, still holding on. If it takes out the lows here at around $60, then I think we will see downtrend resuming. It needs to close above 64.87 to establish a bullish trend. We have the same, more or less the same picture on Brent, 63.40 level. If it takes out that low there at 63.32, then I think we'll see a sell-off down to 61.67, maybe down to around $60. The Euro gas dancing sideways. RSI also dancing sideways below 60 threshold, and let's just see if we can get something out of this. If we add this, it actually spiked a little bit higher there. We are in a slight uptrend, but it's not that strong. We also have the 100 coming down here soon to break below the 200. I think the upside potential, if it breaks higher, will be limited to around 40 and a half. The US nat gas. A massive move yesterday, but still RSI negative sentiment, and it needs to close above 384 and needs to close above 60 threshold. But I think it will do that if nat gas can close above 384, then it's in a bullish trend. I think it will slide back here, and as we talked about the past week or so, it will be range bound here between 310 and 384 for some time. On the yields side, we have US 10-year Treasury yields that's set back to the 38.2 at 443. On moving average now coming up here, giving some RT100 still slightly declining, but I think it will turn around fairly shortly. Still positive sentiment on the RSI. I think we will see it pushing higher eventually, but it could still sit back further. Strong support here, I would say, around the 61.8 at 431, because we have the 55 moving average coming up there. I'm not quite sure we'll get down there. If it takes out the peak here, then I expect a push up towards a 480. The 2-year, not really much to talk about, still just dancing a little bit on the spot. We have the Euro 10-year. Bouncing a little bit this morning, but lower low, lower high, lower low, could still slide back to the 786 at 249. But if it starts crawling back above 260, then we could see a retest of the 271. But for now, it seems to be sliding lower, which we are not unhappy about here. The UK. Oops, hang on. The UK is bounced yesterday, continues to bounce. Strong support here at 460 and strong resistance around 480. If it takes out 482, then I expect a move up towards 5%. Bitcoin, a little bit sideways range here between 106,600 and 112. That's the range it needs to break out of for either push higher or a correction lower towards 102, 100,000. And Ethereum, well, resistance here at 2,739. A break above that, well, we could be looking at 3,067. Support at 23.50. All right, that's all for today and for this week. Have a nice day, and talk to you again Monday.